today we're going to be looking at cost of electricity and how to calculate the cost of electricity. Your textbook reference is 124 right now, right at the top of the page, talks about heating in the home. Okay, so when we talk about the cost of electricity, I know that it's not a very real thing in South Africa right now because we don't often have electricity. But I want to talk about how this electricity is charged for when we do have the service. Okay, so cost of electricity is calculated by using a very interesting unit. The unit is referred to as the kilowatt hour. Kilowatt, oopsie, let me get this right, otherwise I'm making it up, and I don't want to make it up. So the unit is referred to as the kilowatt hour. That is how electricity is charged to us in our homes. And the reason why it's charged like this is because Eskom needs to know how much an appliance uses, but they also need to know how long we use that appliance for. That kind of makes sense, yes? So there's some appliances that have very high power ratings. Now this kilowatt part, the kilowatt part over here refers to the power rating. This over here is the power rating on the appliance itself. So that's my power rating on the appliance. So if you have a look at a kettle, and you can go home and check out a kettle, you can go home and check out a hairdryer, okay? They will have a power rating on it, and you will see this power rating because there will be something that's measured in watts. Okay, so yesterday I was talking about the fact that if I were to use two different hairdryers, if we spoke about the power of the appliance, it would be the rate at which the work gets done. Yes? So a 500 watt hairdryer is not going to do the job as quickly as a 2000 watt hairdryer. Yes? Because of the power rating and how well it actually does the work that is required. Okay? So appliances like our kettles and our kettles and toasters, they tend to have a very high power rating, but they don't operate for a very long period of time. So generally it takes about 3 minutes to boil a kettle, and a kettle usually has about 2000 watts as my power rating. 2000 watts for a kettle. Okay? You can go home and you can check it out at home. You can also time how long it takes you to actually boil the kettle. So we can calculate the cost of boiling the kettle every time, and that's what we're going to do now. So if I have a 2000 watt kettle, that means that if I'm dealing with a power rating and my unit is kilowatt hours, that means I must convert this to kilowatts. I can't just use watts. So this means it's 2 kilowatts. I'm dealing with kilowatt hours, but we only use a kettle for about 3 minutes. Okay? The question is, how much of an hour is 3 minutes? I noticed how some people started looking up like this because they didn't want to answer my question. How much of an hour is 3 minutes? How are we going to do the calculation? Yeah. Sorry? 20. So it's 3 over 60. 0.05. So I have 2, so I'm going to divide the 3 minutes by 60, which means I get 2 kilowatts and 0, what did you say? 0.05 hours. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, which means that the unit here says that if I multiply those two together, I get 0.1 kilowatt hours. Yes? Now what Eskom does is they charge us per kilowatt hour. So they have a rating per kilowatt hour that they charge us. And usually the rating is fairly small. I will check in a moment what the actual rating is right this second. Okay, I'll check one of my bills just to find out what it is right now. But the last time I checked, it was somewhere around 90 cents, 95 cents per kilowatt hour, which means that if I want to calculate the cost of boiling my kettle, I will multiply this by the cost of how much it actually costs per kilowatt hour, which means to boil my kettle. Somebody do this calculation. 9.5 cents, eh? Sure. Does it seem like a lot? No. My question is, why then do we get massive electricity bills?
That's the water, so it's using ovens.
That's the thing, we don't just use our kettle. So we don't only boil the kettle once a day, alright? However many times we boil the kettle, we use that. Then there are appliances that run 24 hours a day. So things like our fridge, 24 hours a day. Our geysers, okay? Things like the other appliances in our home. If we have a pool, there's a pool pump, okay? You use the toaster, you put the lights on, all of those things require electricity, and then what Eskom does is give you a bill overall. So that's how it's calculated. So to recap, what we're going to do is we're going to take the power rating on the appliance, make sure that it's measured in kilowatts. We're going to take the time that the appliance is used for and make sure that that is converted into hours. Then we multiply the two together and we end up with the number of kilowatt hours that the appliance uses, and then you have to multiply that by the cost. Is that okay? Are you sure? Right. So if you have a look on page 124, that is then very, very shortly outlined for you. Okay. So Bonnie, we're good to stop for now.